Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen update focusing on a summary of what the major studio for Star Citizen, Foundry 42 UK, has been working on over the last few weeks and continue to work on now. Work is underway on the next generation of space stations, which are called the rest stops or truck stops. They are created semi-procedurally, allowing the persistent universe to have loads of them and for them to all have their own flavour from their various modular components. They've been focusing on the first iteration of those stations and the three main location components for them. 1. The exterior. The silhouette should give you some idea of what's actually going on with the station, what actual services they provide there, and will make sense architecturally as well based on the internals. There's visual placements there, in-game ads and signs allowing for a huge range of possibilities and differences with each station. Basically, they can automate the layout generation and still have artistic control of the exterior and interior. 2. The new common element hangars. So these are being used with the rest stops. The components for them can be used with every utilitarian hangar in game. The hangars will have the same core functionality, however, they're going to have lots of different modular and variant parts, allowing for different walls, entrances, exits, and service modules. All the hangars are going to look a bit different, basically, or can look different if they want them to, and we'll be using these a lot in game. Very exciting hangar wise because people have wanted hangars to persist in game for a while. The interior, so this is the third part. They've been developing the procedural layout tools for generating the internals of a station. It's a big project though. They are at a stage where they can now accurately and to a good level produce procedural layouts for the internals that maintain visual consistency, coherence, and still make locations appear unique. A lot of this is done with smaller items, being a little bit more randomised with props and lighting placement, rather than big alterations to larger room forms. The props team have updated the entity system to allow single entities to contain gameplay features, visual keys, all via a single setup and control system. This means they can drop these items or objects or entities into any level and it will retain all of the functionality of that object, and it makes it easier to sync up as well. They've revised their metrics and templates for usables and props, allowing for improved scalability and support. They now have destructible props and lights that can affect environments with their lighting and audio, obviously, so you can shoot out lights and you can damage something and it will affect the audio in that entire area. They've built out a load of new low-tech medical props, as well as the models and visuals for all of these subcomponents. So subcomponents are going to be used for modifying weapons and systems and stuff for different functionality or to sidestep it to a slightly different role. Now, these models are all ready for when that customization is added to the game now. The missions team have been updating the AI with the new subsumption behavior. Early work into wild lines for AI-controlled characters is also ongoing. This is the ability for AI to react based on certain situations with an audio clip. And this is going to give everyone a different experience audio-wise with NPCs and AI they interact and fly with based on whether they get hit, whether the AI gets hit, what they do in certain situation. Basically, it's reaction triggers, but it's also based on does the NPC have history with you and that sort of stuff as well. So it gives a lot of flavour to the game and it gives you a lot of feedback of what's going on. They've also rebalanced Vandal Swarm and Pirate Swarm game modes to be more satisfying and fun rather than extremely difficult. Obviously, they're going to keep on working on those. They've also prototyped a scramble race event which can work in space or planet side. In these death races, opponents battle to collect randomly generated checkpoints and more fundamentally to stay alive. The race relies heavily on dialogue and they have upcoming recording sessions planned to supply these dialogue lines ahead of the release of these. So it sounds like you can do some pretty cool stuff if they're effectively randomly generated or procedurally generated races. A little bit different every time, a little bit death racy. It would be pretty cool. They've also been rebalancing the reputation progression system as it was too easy to gain a negative rep even if you're trying to build a positive one. The UI guys have been improving CPU performance with their code. The ECG graph now has a much more efficient approach. There's been some major improvements to rendering characters. They can now render multiple adjacent meshes in one go, which vastly reduce the CPU cost of submitting the work to a GPU while maintaining the flexibility to improve the quality and legibility visibility of their various UI screens. They've been working on 2 new shader effects for the render-to-texture system, edge highlighting for ship targeting displays, and a drop shadow effect to help icons stand out. They've also been improving their GPU particle system. This is going to be used for loads of stuff: EMPs, electrical effects, plasma, coils, loads of VFX, lots of different things. There has been lots of work to the planetary tech, lighting and effects there as well as tuning new weapons, getting more into the item system 2.0 and converted over. There's also been a rebalance of distortion weapons so that they more appropriately affect ships, shields, and the items that they hit. Flight balance has seen a lot of work and iteration, especially atmospheric landing turbulence. They've been working on various new concept ships that will be revealed during 2018. Some ship updates: the Aegis Hammerhead's interior is now mostly set up with the exception of the crew dorm and kitchen area, while the cargo bay and bridge are currently in a detail path. The Eclipse is now back in full production, the current focus being the exterior. They are reinforcing its stealthy appearance as well. The weapon audio system has undergone a substantial refactor, as well as improvements to better reflect the environmental response of weapons. The gameplay story team have been getting all the required scenes for gameplay story organised and implemented in game where possible. More progress has been made for the Vandal face rig and internal facial rig technologies, along with iterations of 2 female rigs. The new 1-to-1 conversion updates to the rig will break a lot of animations that use props, so they've been developing an automated solution to fix the animation files where possible. The facial animation team has been busy finalising animations on various PU, Persistent Universe, shopkeepers, bartenders, and mission givers as well. There was also a 3.1.1 patch that came out addressing a load of the issues for 3.1.0. However, that had to be rolled back, that patch, and we are expecting an updated 3.1.1 or 3.1.2 to come out shortly, before the end of the weekend almost certainly, and that should hopefully address a load of the problems that 3.1 had, with crashes, with the insurance system, and more. I'll link my detailed patch notes video on that particular patch and the rollback in the links below. Every month we have a giveaway for Star Citizen as well. This time for April, it's for the heavy salvage ship, the massive Aegis Reclaimer, provided by our featured app, My Radar. My Radar is a free weather app that includes full-scale maps of the 3 moons of Crusader. Yes, from Star Citizen, including Yela, Selin, and Daymar. Users can scroll around the interactive maps and zoom in to see the landscape and geography of these moons. Also, My Radar is a real-life weather app giving you information on the weather, potentially in your area, and My Radar is available in the US, Europe, Japan, South Korea, and coming this summer to Australia as well. It's available on iOS, Android, and Windows. Please check it out in the links below if you are interested. But to be in for a chance of winning that Reclaimer, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, and then comment on any of my Star Citizen videos made through April. Each video gives you another chance to win. Do you have any questions about that patch, about Star Citizen or Squadron 42's development, or gameplay mechanics, or suggestions for other videos? Please chuck them in the comments below. A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you're interested in becoming one of those lovely fellows or fellowettes, then please find the links to Patreon down below, as well as everything else we've talked about. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well, as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse.